Hey everyone, back talking breaking news. A lot going on this week. Market pulling back hard. But as always, what I want to go over is some of the most interesting breaking news, which is available via the breaking news team in StocksToTrade. So welcome back everyone. I am lead trainer with StocksToTrade, Tim Bohen. Be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell. That being said, market's been pulling back hard. One of the great things that the breaking news guys do, I like to call them the breaking news bros. And I think breaking news bro, drop me a comment. Does breaking news guys sound better or breaking news bros? I like bros myself. Anyway, one thing they do is, they're watching the news, reading that breaking feeds all day long. Click the link below, check out StocksToTrade breaking news. You get access to so much information. They're watching all the news feeds. They're watching the Twitter pumpers. They're watching the chat pumpers. You might hear me talk about them a lot on StocksToTrade Advisory. I get all of that information via breaking news. That being said, BAOS currently the Twitter pump du jour, 11:42 a.m. BOAS, bleep, bleep, bleep. I don't use names. A prominent Twitter pumper is pushing this, bragging it up, and we'll see how it reacts. So he just pushed it red to green. I mean, good example of the Twitter pumps, the chat pumps. I mean, look at the volume on this thing today. And actually, let me jump in to a one-dayer and show you. And we'll just kind of watch this as I go through the video. But, I mean, look at the volume, okay? Just imperceptible. Tweet comes, stock goes green, 1.2 million shares traded in one candle. Earlier in the day, like the biggest candle earlier in the day was what, 30,000 in a candle? So that shows the power. Now, keep in mind, doesn't mean you do trade this, doesn't mean you buy it, doesn't mean you short it, but it shows you if this stock pops up on your scanner, if you're using something other than StocksToTrade, you're going to be like, hey, why did BOS just spike 10%? Why did it just trade 1.2 million shares? So you're going out there and you're trying to figure that out on your own. Again, 3 minutes ago, breaking news told me exactly why. And you can see, now you're not wondering, hey, where'd the volume come from? All right, let's go back to the update. A lot of things going on. Macroeconomic, hawkish Fed comments by Powell and Bullard on raising interest rates and surging treasury yields were too much to overcome as stock slowly bled in the closing bell. This is from yesterday's update. It's continuing. The hangover is continuing today. Powell did say a 50 basis point rate was not off the table, which actually showed a bullish because the Fed governor had suggested a potential 75 BPS rate hike earlier in the week. So, that coupled with Netflix getting destroyed on earnings and actually Netflix gapping down yet again today. I admit on StocksToTrade Advisory this morning, some people were like, hey, what do you think about shorting Netflix? And I'm like, man, it's down a lot. Down from pre-earning 350 down to 200. And then look at that green to red washout. So anyway, continuing hangover from that. So that's the beauty. Again, if you're wondering, hey, why did the S&P sell off yesterday? They give it to you all in the newsletter. If you're maybe you missed yesterday and you come in today and you're like, hey, why is market gapping down? Why do I have no gainers today? A lot of that interest rate. Remember, the idea is as interest rates go up, people have to pay more to borrow money. People pay, and other investments pay out more, treasury bills, etc. So people tend to pull stock. If your mortgage payment goes up, if your loan payments go up, you tend to pull money out of the stock market to pay down debt. So that's the idea behind rising interest rates being bearish. Now, I do think it's a short-term thing, but at least you now know the why. Remember, I was talking about knowing the why. So then let's fast forward to CYN, which, again, the beauty of breaking news is this is a top contender for a Friday squeeze. I'm recording Friday morning right now, going into noon, and this thing just ground back to green to red on a shaky market, or I'm sorry, red to green on a shaky market day. So that's very encouraging. Let me jump back to a two-day chart and show you. So this was that big runner yesterday morning, and let me break it down. 8:33 a.m. Eastern. So right here, just after the gap up from 112 to 160, big gap up. But CYN, CYN Lunch's Drive Mod Kit, a fully equipped autonomous vehicle hardware integration module, which again, if you were on StocksToTrade Advisory, remember we looked at it. It's kind of cool, actually. It's like this self-driving tug, I would call it. So it's like one of the applications was like an airplane tug, you know, that little flat, low tug that moves your plane in and out of the terminal, and then other applications as well. Just, you know, automation is going to be big. Plus, it's an EV play. Tesla was gapping up big on earnings yesterday morning. So you can see, even at 8:33 a.m., you still had plenty of time, because this thing ended up being a pretty solid pre-market dip and rip. You know, if you know the dip and rip pattern, you know we like to see that dip post-market open. But pattern-wise, two big red candles, reclaim of the high of day to $1.90, went all the way up to $2.50. Not bad when you're talking about a stock that was $1 the day before. So basically, from the time to the alert, there was 88% of upside from the time of the alert. If you perfectly timed it, time of the alert and sold the top. But again, if this stock's moving, you see me using it every day. If I want to know the why, what's the why for this stock moving? Breaking news tells me that. And then the nice thing is, keep in mind, again, this thing did grind up into the close, and we're not far from breaking out on a Friday afternoon. So even if you missed yesterday, if you got the breaking news newsletter, you know about CYNE, and you know what to look for. LCLP was another one. LCLP from yesterday, you know, one of these OTC runners. They alerted the news right at the market open. You would have had to been quick, but there was a 50% move on LCLP, and a lot of people didn't have this news. I mean, keep in mind, you got to have the right news feed to get news on some of these trashy OTC stocks. A lot of the times you just miss it because, I mean, you're not finding news on this terrible, you know, pink sheet stock in a lot of the mainstream sources. So let's check back on BAOS. I'm just curious how it's looking, and continue to make new highs. So there you go. Let me know. Drop me a comment below. By the time this video drops, it'll probably be either the end of the day or maybe the next day. How high did BOS close? And do you have breaking news, and have you been taking advantage of it? Because I'm telling you, there's a lot of people in this stock that don't know it's a Twitter pump. And why does that matter? They might be overstaying. They might think this is an organic move. If you know it's a manipulated move, you're going to trade differently. Okay, you're going to have different expectations. If you think this is what I would call an organic new move based on legitimate news, big contract win, something like that, maybe you stay in the stock a little longer. Maybe you get a little bit more wiggle room. When you're trading manipulated pump and dumps, you know you catch a nice quick move. I like to say see green, take green, okay? That's what we do in manipulated stocks, whether it be a Twitter pump or a chat pump. So that being said, if you want to learn these terms, get more in depth, check out the Steady Trade team. There's also a link below. It's kind of like if you've been on StocksToTrade Advisory every morning, 8:30 Eastern, basically the Steady Trade team is StocksToTrade Advisory on steroids, okay? We spend hours a day getting way more into the details, you know, way more into the why, way more into chart patterns, way more into breaking down SEC filings, the whole gamut. Check out the Steady Trade team, and I'll see you next time.